Hey everyone, welcome to Fire and Flavor. My name is Matt, and I am here today with Carlos from Effin Sauces out of Milford, New Hampshire. How you doing today, Carlos?
Hey man, how are you?
Good, man. Good to see you again. It was a lot of fun coming to your spot and checking it out. Kind of rolled up. I was like, "Is this the place?" Is a Chinese restaurant at one point.
Yeah, it was actually like the first Chinese restaurant in Milford.
Yeah,
There used to be a tiki mask on the front that the Historical Society of Milford took, and supposedly they have it in the museum. I've never gone and see it, but it's
that's kind of
very
funny.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know about that. So all right, we'll just get it started, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I'm from Spain originally. I came to the US in 2004 as an exchange student just for one semester. And that semester turned into a year, and that year turned into an associate, and that associate turned into a bachelor degree. And, during my college years, I met my wife, who's originally from here, from Nashua. And, we've been together ever since. And yeah, man, here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, like, what got you into hot sauce making?
So I've been in the culinary industry since 2011. I had a food truck for approximately 3 years. And then after that, I had a restaurant for about 5 years. And I love it, man. I'm the old school type of chef that feels satisfaction, like true satisfaction when you see somebody eating something that you just made with your hands, and the good thing about the culinary industry is that it's instant gratification.
Right.
You don't have to wait too long to see if somebody liked what you did or you
Yeah,
didn't like. It happens too.
yeah,
uh,
that's awesome. And
but
like,
yeah, the only problem it's that it's an industry that has a lot of challenges.
right,
You're as good as your last dish. It doesn't matter if you cook perfectly for 10 years. If one day you're not feeling it and you do a mistake, that's what's gonna mark you as a chef.
for sure, for sure.
The food cost has skyrocketed since COVID, and it just keeps going up and up. The labor force has reduced. A lot of people left and never came back. So, when we moved back after Florida, my wife and I, after college, we moved to Florida. We lived there almost 10 years. It was there that I had the food truck and the restaurant later. And, when we moved to New England, that we had the opportunity to move back here, she wanted to be closer to her family. I knew that going back into the restaurant industry was just going to be more of the same, like
Right.
7 days a week, 12 hours a day, no life, no nothing. So, I just thought about it and gave it a lot of spins in my head, and I came up with the idea of like manufacturing,
Yeah.
because it's something that it's a little more, it's easier to grow on the long term, even though on the short term it's very difficult because if you open a restaurant nowadays, probably the first few months you're going to be packed because everybody wants to try a new restaurant. With the
Right,
sauce,
right.
is different. If you launch a sauce, it's hard to get those first customers to try it. But once you start getting some traction and word to mouth, and and you start getting more places to sell, down the road it's easier because you cement every step that you take. It gets cemented, and you can build on top of it. In the restaurant industry, it's almost like building a sandcastle. There's always going to be waves that come and take it down, and you have to start all over and start all over
Right,
and start
right.
all over.
So, yeah, I mean, definitely when I was in your facility, dude, I could see the amount of love that you put into this. Like, you were very proud to take me around, and that was very awesome. And my partner was also very impressed because she's never been into any place like that. So we kind of left a little starstruck. It was really cool, man. Um, and yeah, those challenges that you had mentioned, the food price skyrocketing and just kind of like not necessarily wanting to go back into the restaurant industry, but still wanting to be involved with food. That's quite a hurdle, man. What made you want to start making hot sauce?
So when I had the food truck, I don't know, have you ever heard of an arepa? You know what an
Yeah.
arepa is?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
love those.
So my food truck was called Arepa Box. It was only arepas, you know. And
Hmm.
the good thing about arepas is that they're gluten free. And back in 2011, everybody was into that trend of the gluten free. So I had this sauce that I used to make in the food truck, and I would have it there in a squeegee bottle
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
people to eat it with the arepas, man, and everybody loved it. So when I opened the restaurant, I decided to make the sauce and put a bottle in every table on the restaurant, and people would use it with their food if they wanted to. It was there available for them,
Yeah.
and people would constantly come to the window, to the expo window on the restaurant, and tell me like, "Man, the food was great, but that effing sauce was amazing." You
I
know,
love that.
so I kind of like started calling it like that effing sauce, that effing sauce, that effing sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
And after so many years of listening nothing but positive from it, I decided to give it a chance, and
Hey, man.
and go and move forward with it.
I think that's great, man. And that's also a dream of mine. So I really love seeing people chase that. And, that's why I started to do this, to talk to people like you who have a really cool story. I've talked to a few of my friends before we're speaking today, and I told them, I'm like, I met this guy, Carlos. He has a hot sauce manufacturing plant in an old Chinese restaurant that he completely refurbished. It's beautiful in there, by the way. And I don't know, they're like, that's a really cool story. I can't wait to listen to it. So again, man, I got to thank you for being here today. This is so cool.
Thank you,
Um,
Matt. I really appreciate this, man, and it helps tremendously to the business and to myself.
of course, of course. It's a two-way street, man. We're helping each other here. And I'm also very happy to have you on because you are so passionate about food. The other people I've interviewed are also very passionate about food, but you being in the restaurant industry also really kind of kicks it up a notch. And that, I'm not really sure how to word it. It just, I can tell that you have a lot of love into this, and that's really freaking awesome, man. So please keep doing this as long as you can.
Thank you, man. I will.
So pardon me if I butcher this. You're from Galicia?
From
Is
Galicia.
that
Yeah.
Galicia? Did that influence your culinary approach at all, like in terms of honoring ingredients or minimizing waste, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, man. If there's something that I miss on a daily basis, it doesn't matter that I've been in the US for 20, 21 years.
Yeah.
It's the food, Yeah, there's no point on comparison, European versus American food, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I feel that there's finally a wake up call happening. I was just reading this morning that in Arizona they're finally like prohibiting the potassium bromate and
Oh, good.
and the red 40 and the blue 6 and all these things that
Although
they're
unnatural
unnecessary.
crap. Yeah.
They're unnecessary. You see the list
Yeah.
of ingredients in Europe, and like we use beet if you want something red, you use lavender if you want something purple. Like you use natural ingredients, man. There's no need to go into those things. You
Yeah, no, there really isn't. I work for a pretty big corporation myself, and it's a grocery store. I'm not going to name them on the show, but they also pride themselves in not using artificial dyes and ingredients. And that's actually something you really stressed to me when we were talking when I was there. You really try to do all organic everything, um, no food dyes, like we just mentioned. And like you said something that really kind of stuck with me. It's like, I wouldn't sell something that I personally wouldn't eat myself.
it's just that you can be a great salesman,
Mhm.
but if it's something that you don't believe in, I truly believe that people eventually notice it, and knows it. So I what I do it because I love it, and I want people to recognize that. Above everything, what I want them to recognize is to recognize that this is a great product. You know.
Oh, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I haven't tried it myself. Like I had mentioned a few minutes ago, I had been waiting to talk to you to try it, but you gave me a couple extra bottles. So I shared one with one of my coworkers who's a dear friend of mine that used to grow chilies for me. And she was like, that is effing awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I wanted to spread some of the love beforehand. And while I couldn't taste it myself, I really wanted someone to tell me what they thought about it. obviously I know I'm gonna love it. I've been staring at it for a week, and I'm just gonna flash one of them on the camera real quick. Um, this is sweet lava. We'll be trying this later, and we also do have Effin Magma. Um, so these look fantastic, and we're just gonna take a look. They look nice and thick. They don't look all vinegary, and also there's no artificial ingredients in it. None of that benzoate crap, or there's not even xanthan gum, and the stuff stays like stable. So that's a really cool menu. We use any fake stabilizers,
Nothing.
all organic.
Organic apple cider vinegar.
Yep.
The only
No, that's
thing that gives it shelf life stability.
yeah. So do you like have trouble getting organic produce and ingredients here in the
All the time,
US?
man.
Like,
All
yeah,
the time. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that 90% of the times the organic products they come from outside the US.
right.
Because there's not enough farms that dedicate their time to do it.
Yeah.
And and honestly, the USDA also is a mafia. So
Oh, 100%.
I understand why farmers don't want to go into that hassle. You know.
100%, man. It's a pain in the neck. I don't know. Yeah. It I've talked to a couple people and they're like, we try to keep it as all natural as possible. And even like getting yourself certified organic in the US is a pain in the neck. You can write organic on your bottle, but like to have it like have a certified stamp is it's kind of silly that and I guess the terms are very loose in the States too. It's like you don't even know with half these products you're buying in an actual store if it's organic or not. But like, like you're saying, you're sourcing your stuff and making sure that it's 100% organic, and that's really cool, man. So like you're saying that you have to get stuff outside the US. Are you having it shipped
Yeah, I
from
mean,
another country
I
in?
use a supplier. Like it's either Gordon's or Chini Brothers or
Yeah.
whoever has availability at that time. But it's tricky because it's not only one ingredient that you need.
Right. Yeah,
Several
you need
ingredients,
multiple.
and
And
so
you need them in bulk too. It's not like you can just like, all right, I need like 2 pounds. No, you probably need what, like 15 pounds of peppers or
way
more.
more. Try like
Yeah.
150 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. That's a lot to source.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so you buy organic mash too, right? For your Reaper. Do that for habanero too, or
The only reason the spicy pepper is the
Mhm.
only ingredient that is not certified organic in the sauce because
Right,
there
right.
is no farms in the United States that produce spicy certified organic peppers.
Right, right.
Like I've looked heaven and earth and there isn't.
That
But
it's
there
hard.
is some companies that are growing them like hydroponically,
Mhm.
trying to limit the amount of pesticides and stuff. And I found this that is called Fiery Farms,
Mhm.
which they make a really good product and they smash it and vacuum seal it and they don't add anything else to it. So it's single ingredient source and it's great, because it comes vacuum seal. So
Mhm.
sometimes if I get the spicy peppers and I haven't been able to get the bell peppers, the spicy peppers at least they're not gonna go bad because they're vacuum
Right,
sealed there.
right.
So that has been very helpful. In addition, that is not pleasant to process
No,
by hand. It's a
no,
hundred
no,
pounds of habaneros. You know,
no.
in the moment that you do this, your
Oh,
forehead is on fire for the next
oh,
five
I've
hours.
been there.
God forbid that you rub one of your eyes. Forget it. You have to stop
Oh,
and
yeah,
go
Kylos,
what.
I got carolinareaper in my eye before.
No,
And
yeah.
yeah, that was a big mistake. And same with habanero. And then, I used to grow those peppers and I still do during the summer, but all year long I'd have like a tent in my house and I would just grow weird, super hot peppers. And so I'd like cut them open sometimes to try it and I'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
I'd be on absolute fire,
yeah.
dude. So like, I'm sure, do you ever like gas yourself out in the kitchen? You wear a mask and stuff?
Not anymore. At the beginning, I used
You
to,
used
but
to it now?
nowadays I just grow used to it. Like
Yeah.
in fact, sometimes, man, when I make a batch, I'll go back home and like give a hug to my kids and stuff, and after 2 minutes, they'll be like, it's so spicy, it's so big, because it sticks to your clothes and stuff,
Right,
and you don't
right.
even notice it.
Yeah, dude, be making hot sauce in my apartment as like a hobby, and I'd be gassing my partner out, she'd she'd be in the other room like coughing and closing the door, and I'd be out there just fine because I'm like, I like the smell. I don't know, it's like I'm totally down with it. It's definitely, but if you're not used to being around that, it's definitely very intrusive
No,
and
and like different peppers is different experiences.
right.
I'm used to the habanero and the Carolina Reaper, but I
Yep.
touch a jalapeno and it burns. To give
Yeah.
you an example, because I don't work with jalapenos.
Right. It,
It's
it's funny you say that, man. I grew a couple jalapeno plants a few years back, and I had two in one pot. And you're not really supposed to do that because what happens is the plants will start fighting each other for nutrients,
Mhm.
and they'll start choking each other out or just like wilting. So I'd have to water this thing every day. Anyway, fast forward to harvest season. It grew a ton, like the two plants in the pot grew a ton of jalapenos. They're only like that big though.
Yeah,
And I let them turn red because I don't know if you've ever eaten a ripened jalapeno. It's way better than a green one. They're
yeah,
just sweeter. The heat profile is crazy. And there's pots one in my mouth, eating jalapenos all the time. If I hadn't eaten one of these, like pots one, this thing lit me up hotter than anything I've ever eaten just because I had stressed it out so much.
yeah.
And and again, like you, I'll eat them, but I don't work with them as much as I work with like, habanero or Carolina Reaper, anything like that. Uh Definitely it's funny how when you cut a pepper like that, you just don't really expect what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many peppers out there, man. So many. It's
It really is. It
hundreds
really
and
is.
hundreds.
I,
To
I
me,
didn't even realize it until I started growing them. I'm like, oh, I want to grow this. I want to grow this. I want to grow. I have a seed bank in it's like a bag. It's like this thick. I should have brought it out for the show. It's funny though.
nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but to me, man, like the habanero, it's honestly like the king of the peppers. Oh,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
it's so versatile. It has so much flavor profile. It complements. It doesn't overpower. I really like it. That's why the original sauce, the sweet lava, I
Mhm.
went with the habanero exclusively.
See if we can get that on cam. I'm just gonna flash it real quick for our audience, and I just got a new camera today, so like I'm not used to it. There we go. All right, cool. Um, so that's freaking awesome, bud.
Yeah,
Uh, so tell me about your like creative process for developing new sauces or flavors. Are you working on anything currently that you want
yeah,
to bring?
yeah. We're actually, we're like at the beginning when I started the company, I was a believer that I had to put all my effort into one product instead of like putting products to compete to each other, and the sweet lava, I already had like 8, 10 years of customer feedback on the sauce and adjusting that recipe and like making
Yeah.
it like on spot, and then when I started the company and I started going to like farmers markets and like craft shows, the New England Craftsman Show and stuff like that, every once in a while, I would say like maybe one out of every 20 people that tried it, they will be like, it's not spicy enough. It's not spicy enough. And that really bothered me, man. Like, I would get back home, I just sold 500 bottles, and the only thing I would care was like the three guys that told me that.
It sticks with you.
So I was like, my creative process was like, I'm gonna get these guys back. So, I did some research. I found that this company was also selling the Carolina Reapers,
Hmm.
on Smash. And I was like, send me that Carolina Reaper that I'm gonna make a sauce that is gonna bring tears to your eyes.
Oh yeah.
And I did the first batch of the Effin Magma with the same proportions of habanero, but with the Carolina Reapers. And man, when I took the first spoon, I almost passed out. It was too much. Yeah, I
That
started
stuff is so hot.
crying, my nose dripping. I couldn't even like bottle it. I had to leave it there and like forget it. So I had to redo the batch and reduce the amount of the Carolina Reapers to make it like something. enjoyable, very, very spicy, but still enjoyable. It still has flavor. It can still be paired with stuff, and you can taste what you're eating. But it's definitely, I would say, like at least 10 times spicier than the sweet lava.
Good.
You
That's
know?
what we like to hear.
Yeah. So, this year, what I'm doing is I have the sweet lava that is like, let's say, our intermedium, and we have the Effin Magma that is our very spicy. So my
Yeah.
next step is making a sauce that is going to be a little milder than the sweet lava,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. So some people really can't handle capsaicin. I've noticed that because I'll be eating something and I'll be like, I don't think this is hot, and then there will be people that are like, and it's so even if it's like the most mildest thing, like Frank's Red Hot, it's like some people can't handle it. So like,
I
I
mean,
like to see that you're kind of trying to make something a little more on the less hot side for people. Is it going to have the same flavor profile? Are you going to try to keep it true to that? Or are you going to mix it
it's
up?
gonna still have like the sweet notes. It's gonna be a little more tangy because
Okay.
it's more in my mind. It's more dedicated for breakfast, for
Yep.
eggs
Yep.
and stuff. In fact, it's gonna be called morning mofo. So
That's funny.
you know, and I'm gonna try to make it like a little more on the orange side, less on the red. Yeah,
Okay. I can
but
get down with that. Have you chosen what kind of chili you're going to use? Are you use like just less habanero, or are you going to
so
jalapeno? Or
I've done three tests. In one of them, I used the Hungarian wax peppers.
I like those.
That one I liked it a lot. I do feel that like the consistency changes a little with that. It gets a little
Yeah.
more like gooey, to put it in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
sense.
It's a
So
thick skin
that
pepper.
I'm not too crazy about that, to be honest. But it's still there on the table. It could be like maybe a combination of that with something else. I tried one with padron peppers too, but it's too mild. The padron peppers really they barely have any spice on them,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that didn't work. And then I saw I'm ordering a sample of the Hungarian carrot peppers that are like
Okay.
very nice bright orange, and we'll see how that works. Hopefully they'll have the same type of spiciness that the other Hungarian, the wax, but
Yeah.
without that like gooiness.
No, that's cool, man. Have you ever like used serranos? My buddy from work, actually, sent his dad sent him some serrano chilies from LA, and he gave me a whole bag of them. I made a batch of nachos last night, and they were freaking spicy, but they were bearable. Have you ever used those? Kind of like a
I have,
jalapeno. Yeah.
and in fact, the Serrano
Yeah.
booklet, I have it safe for like a green tomatillo sauce.
Oh,
We want
cool,
to
man.
release down the road too.
That's cool. I know I would love to try that. My partner would. We love tomatillo verde style sauce. Man, that's so cool.
It's so
I
good.
li- I like to see that you're trying to make other sauces too, and also trying to make more similar to what you have, to keeping that flavor profile and just making it accessible to everyone who wants to try your sauce. That's kind of huge in this market, I find. I find that a lot of companies will kind of they'll kind of do what you're doing, but they'll also just make stuff that's ridiculously hot for no reason without maintaining flavor, which in my opinion, I think flavor is way more important than heat level. Well, I do love to eat the spicy stuff. I want it to taste good and not just be like, oh, this is unbearable.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I agree with you, man. It has to complement, you know.
Absolutely. And that's to be able to be eaten with something else that's just gonna sit on your shelf for like a gag with someone, like I've had a couple sauces that are pure novelty, and it's just something you pull out and you're like, oh, you want to try something hot? It's like, okay, great. It didn't taste like anything actually. So I don't know if you've ever been to the New England Hot Sauce Festival, but have you been there?
In the Budweiser factory, right?
Uh, I, I don't know. I was like Smutty Nose or something. One of those beer
And the
places.
small notes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I went to the first one. I'm gonna go again this year. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can go as press and talk to people that way.
Nice.
Um, maybe get him on the show at some point. But I went there and they had a wing challenge where people were eating wings, and each level the wings would get hotter. And there's this sauce called Da Bomb. Have you ever heard of Da Bomb before?
I think I have. Yeah.
It's it's disgusting. Firstly, there's no redeeming quality of that sauce, and I think the only reason that it is so hot is because, or not the reason it's so hot, but the reason it's so popular is because it's so hot, and it's on a show Hot Ones,
Oh yeah.
where they talk about it. But so anyways, people got up to the bomb and couldn't handle it. And I think, yeah, the reason that it may be so hot to people is because there is no redeeming quality to it. So people just eat it, and within a few seconds, they're on fire. But, so anyways, they had this wing challenge, and people got up to the bomb and couldn't continue eating it. So they had some leftover wings, and this guy, another YouTuber, excuse me, gets on stage and he's like, "We have extra Da Bomb wings if you want any." I'm like, "Hell yeah." I go up, I grab one, I eat the whole thing, no problem. I ate it, but within like 30 seconds, yeah, I got the boogers, the tears, the hiccups, all those things that come with eating spicy peppers. And it kind of stuck with me. And it was kind of towards the end of the trip too. So my buddy and I are driving home, and I'm driving, and I can just feel it in my stomach. Like the more I'm driving, um, the worse it gets because I'm just like bouncing in the car, and my friend's just yapping away, talking at me because he's so excited we went to that. And I was like, "I'm sorry, man. You got to shut up. I'm going to throw you up."
Yeah.
When we get home, dude, and I opened the car and I just threw up all over the street.
Oh my God.
So that was not very enjoyable, man. Like, ugh, there's no, I feel like if there was some kind of flavor with it that was good, it wouldn't have been so awful. But that, that, in my opinion, is a sauce that just doesn't necessarily need to exist other than like as a novelty.
Oh, that's punishment. Punishment.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. So then I watched another guy eat 60 Carolina Reapers on stage, and he was trying to go for 200. Um,
That can be good for you.
yeah, another YouTuber, his name's Mike Jack. Really nice guy. I got to meet him. He's really cool. But yeah, dude, he's just like, I forget. I think he was doing it for a charity event, which is cool. But I would never want to put myself through that kind of punishment. It was why he was like, these were big. And they're also, fun fact, the Carolina Reapers he was growing or eating were grown by Ed Carey, the guy who created the Carolina Reaper. They're all handpicked by him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyways.
I saw him in that Netflix show. That guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I've talked to him briefly online before. He's really cool. Really, really personable dude.
I mean, it's just that if you have a like a passion for botanism, for growing plants and stuff, like hot peppers give you an opportunity that nothing else has, man. Because yeah, you can cross pollinate tomatoes and maybe get one a little bigger or a different color
Yep.
or a different shape, but at the end, they taste like a tomato, man.
Absolutely.
A little sweeter, a
Absolutely.
little more acid, but tomatoes. But the peppers, man, the peppers you can change in 3 generations of plants.
Yep.
You can completely change that pepper, man.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you saw last year, he actually had the next hottest pepper verified on Guinness, so the Pepper X.
Yeah, yeah.
But he won't release the seeds or anything. He just sells sauces with, so he won't release seeds for it. Nothing. He just doesn't want to release it to the public because I think the Carolina Reaper got so saturated in the market that he's like, "Oh, I need to keep making my money off of this," kind of thing. But either
A
way,
good pepper, man.
it's
Carolina
so
Reaper.
interesting.
It's
What's that?
the Carolina Reaper is like a great pepper too, man. You just
It
have to treat
is.
it with a lot of respect. But it's
Yeah,
great.
they're very gnarly to look at, man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there's
I like
definitely
them.
like, oh, there are even hotter ones out there than that. And, in between that and Pepper X, and I've grown some of them. It's just they're not like verified or on Guinness or anything, but, they all have this like Are there like, I don't know, I like the Reaper because it kind of has like a fruity taste. It's not very floral. You know how some peppers have that like floral taste and
Yeah,
can be a little bitter.
yeah,
I like that it maintains that like crazy heat with a decent flavor.
yeah. In fact, like the first bite that you take out of it, it's sweet.
Yeah, it is. And then you're like, oh my God,
Mm.
why'd I do this?
And then the donkey kick comes.
Oh yeah, right in the nads,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
um, so like let's talk a little bit about your branding and your website. So like you love sustainable living and community engagement. How do you connect with like the flavor lovers and sustainability advocates? Does that really bring you any business or more attention to what you're trying to do? You know, like people that are really trying to eat cleaner, but really want to eat hot sauce or, just how's that working for you?
I mean, I do believe, well, first of all, man, I do it because of my own, conscience.
Right?
The restaurant that I had in Miami, the Lunchbox, it was the only zero waste restaurant in Miami. And we got an award from Johnson and Wales University recognizing us for the effort. And it was not easy at all, man.
No.
Just to give you an example, I had my recycling account, my commercial recycling account for the restaurant was 00001. Was
Wow.
I was the first commercial recycling account that Waste Management had in Miami. You know?
That's amazing. That's great.
So yeah,
Wow.
and to the suppliers, I would tell them like, man, if you're gonna pack it in plastic, I'm sorry, I can't take it because it's too much and the plastic doesn't get recycled properly. It has to
Right.
come either in cardboard or in glass or in a wood or anything like.
Anything but plastic. And it kind of sucks because to have a legit business, especially sauce business, like they do require you to use these stupid little wrappers. Let me just put
That,
this on the screen.
that's the only
That's
piece of
it though.
plastic
Yeah,
that we
that's
have.
it, guys. So
Yeah.
that's freaking awesome. And I wholly believe in that too. Like I think we should just be using less plastic. And if it's possible, man, I would like to see them come up with something that's more like sucrose, a little more like biodegradable, like fake plastic.
Yeah, that would be
Uh,
great, man. That would be great. I mean, there is disadvantages environmentally wise. There's disadvantages to the glass bottle too, man. It weighs more, so if you analyze the transportation costs of the glass bottles, that extra weight produces more CO2 than the road, etc. But at least the glass is recyclable everywhere.
yeah.
There's
Yeah, it
not
can be
one single place in
reused.
the world that doesn't recycle glass.
Yeah, it's not going to just sit there in a landfill doing nothing for 1,000 years. You can at least break it down or reuse it.
When
And
I opened the company, man, I mean, I wasn't gonna, after putting so much effort always to try to maintain an environmentally ethic business with the restaurant, I wasn't just gonna jump into here and put the sauce, spend all the money in organic ingredients and expect
yeah,
with all that love to put it in a stupid plastic squeegee bottle
no, man, it wouldn't
that
even
doesn't
it wouldn't
form
taste as
and
good either, dude. It like I don't know, I think plastic kind of ruins the taste of things,
for
especially
sure,
something so acidic like hot sauce or
100%.
just eating away at the bottle. It's like, okay,
There has to be some
um,
leak of that plastic bottle into that because of
yeah,
the acid and because of the capsicum and
yeah,
just I wasn't gonna do it, man. And it's a big sacrifice, These bottles, I buy them in batches of 10,000 bottles, so
wow,
that I can get them down the cost to 90 cents a bottle.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
still a big cost, man. Like if I would do the plastic bottles, it will be a few cents each bottle. So I'm sacrificing a lot of profit just for the sake of maintaining the company ethically responsible with the planet as
No,
much as
that's
I can.
that's amazing, man. I think that's super important, and I really commend you for just like going the extra mile to do that and making sure that you're just not leaving junk for everyone else to deal with. That's fantastic. It's super important. Super important. We have
And
too
down
many
the
like
road, I'm planning on putting solar power too in the place, and and try to reduce, my carbon footprint as much as I can.
Absolutely. I think everyone should really. I know we've made some pretty big steps here, just kind of using less like zero waste and stuff. And
Yeah. And
it's
like for example, in the bottle that it says that it's vegan because it's a vegan product. There's nothing
yeah, yeah,
animal product. It doesn't mean that I'm vegan. It doesn't mean that I'm telling you to eat it with vegan food. It just means that the
no,
sauce is vegan. And
yeah,
sometimes people will be upset by that. Like
yeah. It's
the
definitely
hardcore carnivores.
yeah, it's definitely like a scary word for some people, and like I don't understand why. It's just a word, dude. It
I,
just
I
means
don't
there's no
understand either.
animal byproduct. Same with like gluten free. Like I said, I work at a store. Anytime I say something's gluten free or vegan friendly, there's definitely like those older dudes that'll be like, "Ugh."
I
It's
don't
like,
want it.
man, it just means there's no like wheat or soy or like anything like that in here. So like, what are you getting so huffy puffy about? Just eat the damn muffin or what, you know?
I mean, that happens with that, but when it comes down to the glass bottle and the aluminum cap, like everybody likes that, man.
Yeah. Oh no,
Whenever
of
I tell
course.
them that it's for that,
100%.
nobody tells me like, "Oh, I wish it was in a plastic bottle."
Yeah. I don't, I would be concerned if anyone said that to begin. That'd be kind of weird, right?
Me too. Although in the world we're living, you never know, man.
Not too surprising, but
Yeah,
so I just wanted to highlight, I noticed that you love bull terriers. It's actually the face of your company. Let's
yeah.
talk about that a little bit, man.
Of course, man. Of course. I got a Domino, my first bull terrier.
Hmm.
I got him in 2009. He was born in 2009 and got him in 2010. And man, I mean, I went bananas for this dog. I took him everywhere with him. I have a tattoo on my leg of him.
Yep.
And he was the greatest dog ever. He passed last year, unfortunately, at 14 years. But,
Yep.
you know, uh,
Look,
so when I moved into New England and I started the company back in 2019, we still didn't have kids or anything, so they were the center of my universe, and
yep.
the whole image of the company, it's like a tribute to them.
Hmm.
And we also, we have agreements with different associations that rescue bull terriers around the United States, like the BTR Mission or the Bull Terriers of the Sunshine State, and we incentivize customers in our media to try to like adopt these dogs. If anybody adopts a dog from them, we send them free sauce.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Thank you, for doing
Mhm.
it,
Yeah,
and down the road, we're hoping that we can contribute financially to them, because it's a
absolutely.
great breed, man. I mean, all dogs are awesome. There's no such thing as a bad dog. Uh,
No.
but bull terriers, man, they just have so much personality.
Yeah, they do. I love their faces too. They have those like
Oh man,
long
so
faces, little
cool.
eyeballs. They're so cute, man. I'm
It,
actually just gonna flash your bottle on here because there is a picture. It's Domino, right?
Domino, yeah.
So cute. Yeah, and that is the face of your company. So that really shows how much you loved that animal, man. And
Yeah, and
I had a
I have
dog
another
too
I have
for
another
a
bull
long time.
terrier that I love too. Her name is Dixie. She's still alive.
Yeah.
The thing is that I always say that Domino was the salt and she's the pepper, because it's harder. Like Domino, you couldn't take him anywhere. He agreed with other dogs. He never growled him. But Dixie, man, it's an
Little,
earthquake.
little firecracker.
Oh my goodness.
Did they did you have them both at the same time or
I did, yeah, and they got
yeah,
along
of
with each other. Like obviously Dixie bullied Domino a lot,
course.
but but yeah, now she's happy that she's a single dog. I think she's the only one that doesn't miss Domino in the house.
Yeah, right. It's like yeah, they can be competitive. We have cats and they're very competitive for our affection and love here. So I'll be petting one and I'll turn around, the other one just staring at me like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? Where's my love?
yeah,
And then the other one comes up meowing. So it's like, and dude, I completely also understand how much love you had for that dog because I had a dog for years and he lived to be 18 and he was a little Jack Russell, but I used to take him everywhere with me, man. I used to be a land surveyor. So I'd travel around New England and I would take my dog with me and he would sit in the car with me. If we were walking up a mountain one day, he'd walk up the mountain with me. He was my best friend. So I totally love that. And I love that you're highlighting your love for animals with your brand, dude. There's another company I talked to out of Hillsborough called Big Dog Sauce.
I saw that in your other show, man.
Yeah, and he was really cool. And what they do, and you might be able to do this too, is they take tips. And at the end of the year, they take all those tips and they put it towards, charitable foundations or
Oh, that's a good idea, man.
rescue animals. So, like, I think that's something you could do too to give
Yeah,
to
that's
what you're
great
trying to
idea.
do. You
For
know,
sure.
it's not stealing an idea, man. And other people are doing it, and I think it's great to try and do that too. So maybe that's something you could
For
consider.
helping, like,
Yeah. And yeah, like I said to Dan when I was talking to him, man, animals need love more than humans do. 99.9% of the time, dude. And all they do is love us in return
yeah,
unconditionally, man. And when you save an animal, they know that you saved them, and you can tell that they're grateful to have you in their life. And especially when you give that back to them. So that's really cool, man. Please keep up that love and spreading it with your animals and your little furry friends and
yeah, for sure. We'll do,
keeping
man.
it the face.
We'll do.
um, so let's talk a little bit more about like hot sauce business, man. How do you see like the market evolving? Like do you, how do you see your company evolving over the next few years? Do you see you opening up to a bigger operation? I think when we were there, you had mentioned wanting to do like some greenhouses out back to invite people to come and have like charcuterie, which I thought was a really cool idea.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
one of my friends actually lives in Milford, and I told him about that, and he's like, I would go to that. So
Yeah, for sure, man. It's I'm a true believer, man, that you have to have high expectations. Even if you can
absolutely.
accomplish that expectations, at least it's gonna take you to a higher place than if you just have low expectations.
Right.
So if I'm being completely honest, man, inside my mind, I see effing sauces turning into Tabasco. And I want to see the bottles on every supermarket and in every breakfast place and in every convenience store. And I
Amen.
truly believe that, man. It's just a matter of time and for people to keep trying it and talking about it and trying it and talking about it.
Right.
And yeah, right. That's why one of the main reasons that I got this place, even though it was so run down and it smelled like Chinese food for 6 months after I bought it, it's because I had 2 acres on the back that go into the river, and that's where I'm planning on doing the greenhouses. Because once I grow the greenhouses, the whole problem with the availability of organic ingredients disappears.
Right. Right.
And uh,
That's
and
huge.
and even if I don't get organic certification and I cannot put that it's organic anymore, I know it's peppers that I grew and I know the techniques that I use. And I know that they're going to be better peppers than probably the organic ones that I will buy.
Absolutely, man. And I'm gonna tell you right here on the show, when you start doing that, please have me come down and I will definitely like record it. But I'm also willing to help you do that because I grow a lot of chili
For
plants.
sure,
So like
man.
I'm totally, dude, I would love to keep in contact with you after this
For sure,
beyond it.
man.
And
I
we
know that you
absolutely
have the
should.
know-how on growing peppers, and that will be super helpful.
Yeah. I have so many seeds too, like I was saying. So maybe I could
There
share
we
some.
go.
Speaking of peppers still, um, do you plan on using any other kind of like crazy super hot peppers? I know we were talking earlier, you're saying you were gonna use some more mild ones, but like, do you plan on going any hotter than what you have currently, or just trying different peppers like a ghost pepper or scorpion pepper or anything like that?
So more than like the spiciness, um, I have some peppers that have caught my attention for their looks, you know, like for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
there's the purple UFO. Have you heard
Yep.
about that?
Oh yeah, I have seeds for it actually.
I mean, do you imagine a purple hot sauce? There's
Yeah,
not
it'd be
one
interesting.
purple
So
hot sauce out there in the market.
I think so with peppers like that, I've used purple like ghost pepper types. Um, when you blend them, it ends up kind of being white.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so you'd have to use like beet juice or something to kind of get that
yeah,
purple
you
back
know.
into it because it's just really the when you cut it open, dude, it's and I'll flash this on the show, I think, or I'll try to after I edit. But yeah, the inside is usually like a fleshy white color and they're wild looking because they get very oily and when you cut these things open, dude, you can just see the oil dripping out of it.
Mm.
But purple UFOs, I have seen those and I do believe that they're fleshy white on the I'll have to double check that, but from my experience with hot peppers that are purple, they're white on the inside, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, okay.
But they are freaking weird looking, man.
Yeah.
There's actually another really cool pepper. Um and it's a cross between a Bahamian goat pepper and a habanero or a Jamaican Scotch bonnet. It's basically a habanero and
Yeah.
kind of like the same heat level and flavor profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's called a King Star Lemon Starburst. And this Vietnamese guy grew it over a few generations hydroponically. He kind of like sped the process up, and soon it kind of became like a cult followed pepper. But anyways, what makes it so iconic is that it's UFO shaped and it's bright yellow and it has a stinger tail on it. So
Mhm.
it's like a really, really cool looking pepper, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you'd actually like to try something like that sometime because that does have that like habanero Scotch bonnet flavor profile.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I like that you're trying to like keep those things in your mind and be like, oh man, I could use a purple pepper. But yeah, you might have to use beet juice. I haven't actually grown those ones out, so I don't know what they look like inside. It might be dark, but I don't know if when you blend them if they stay purple or not.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken.
But you know, like one thing that I look for a lot is it's what would that sauce be paired with, you know?
Right. That's the
Eh,
important part.
Because you know, right now, one thing that I believe is that uh, both sweet lava and Effin Magma, if you had to put a flavor profile to them, it's more like a Latin Caribbean style, you know, because it has a bit of the sweetness, it has the tangy, it has the smokiness, you know. But down the road, I would like to explore different culinary cuisines, you know. Like for
Absolutely.
example, I've read about the Santaka pepper that is Japanese, and I would love to do like some sort of like Japanese spicy sauce, you know,
Oh, you should.
maybe like a spicy teriyaki or something like that using that,
Little
you know, and that
little
way
umami.
you start exactly you start like gaining culinary, you know,
Yeah.
blogs, you know, like people that like Japanese food now all of a sudden they have like a spicy teriyaki
Hmm.
or you know use like I love Peruvian food, you know, ceviche and stuff like that, like an ají amarillo and rocoto. They're
Yep.
delicious peppers, man. Delicious. Like they have.
Ricotas are cool. Fun fact, those are one of the only, and I'm pretty sure it's the Ricoto. They have black seeds.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever know that? Yeah, and not very many peppers grow with black seeds. I think it's the Ricoto. I'm
Hmm?
gonna look it up now. Ricoto. But yeah, yeah, I believe these things have black seeds in them, and it's not very common. Um, yeah, yeah, they do. So, you know, most chili seeds are white, and these ones grow black, and I think that's kind of weird. It's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
definitely, man. Definitely. Sometimes some of the habaneros, when I used to get the habaneros whole, I will find sometimes some of them that will bring like brownish.
Yeah,
No, and they were not bad. They were perfectly like firm and everything, but the seeds were brownish inside.
yeah, yeah. You just have to cut them out, man. What do you whenever you process whole peppers yourself, do you just keep the the white vein inside of it? Because that's like the hottest part, man.
On the habaneros, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was processing the habaneros, I would just take out the stem and the whole thing in.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Yeah, because
So,
I will actually have to cut them in half because if not, they will float and they will
yeah,
burn
yeah,
out because they're full of air inside. So I had
yeah,
to
yeah,
cut them
yeah,
in half, but that was it, you know?
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And some people will just cut that vein out, or some people actually say they don't like the taste of seeds, but I don't really notice them. And when I eat sauce, they say there's like a bitterness to it, but I'm not
Like
seeking out.
I do notice it, for example, on the bell peppers that I use for the body of the sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
I do take out the white
Well,
and
oh,
the
there's
heart.
like a million seeds in those
It's
things.
1,000, and I do believe that it makes it a little bitter, the sauce. So that part I take it out, you know, and obviously it increases the cost of production because you're paying, you know, like $6, $7 a pound of bell
Right.
peppers, and then you're taking a third of it out. But
Yeah. I definitely noticed that when I was doing sauces in my home kitchen. I'm like, all right, well, I need to buy probably an extra pound of peppers because of what I have to take out. You know, that like that white part in the center weighs probably like half the weight of the chili half most of
yeah,
the time.
yeah,
Um,
but
that's
yeah, man.
awesome,
And
man.
I also, you know, down the road, you know, the Calabrian pepperoncini.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love those.
I want to do like kind of like a Mediterranean base spicy food or a spicy oil, you know,
That's
and you
awesome.
could
I
use
love
like
Calabrian
pastas and
chilies.
pizzas and things like that.
It's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So my job uses Calabrian chilies in a few things. Like we have a tomato soup with you know, like tomato sauce and stuff. Mostly for like Italian, kind
yeah,
of like Mediterranean foods. So it'd be interesting to see what you could do with that. I'm very fascinated to see what
yeah,
you have coming for the future, man. It sounds like you have some gears turning in your head thinking about what you want to do next and
yeah,
where
for
you want
sure,
to go
man.
with it.
For sure. I mean, this is like my baby, man. Like
Yeah.
I think
Oh
about
yeah.
it all day.
As you should, man. Nurture that thing. I think you're going in a really great direction with it. But now I think it's time to see what you have. We got the couple sauces lined up here for me to try on the air. I'm having so much fun talking, but I almost forgot that we got to try these bad boys. So
Right.
let's crack it open. I got the sweet lava here, and I'll put it up here so you can see it, Carlos.
Awesome.
Um, all right. Oh, here's my camera. Here it is. All right. Peel that bad boy off. All right. So we're gonna start with the sweet lava. You see Domino on there. I love this label, man. Did your wife make the labeling?
No, that
Or
I
no, you
actually, you know, most of the graphics, we had them in the restaurant.
oh, cool,
I
man.
just recycle them
That's
into
awesome, man.
the
Why not?
company, you know, and then the face of Domino, the logo
Mhm.
was made by this girl down in Miami that is called Raquel Rainey. She has a company called Rainy Town. Great graphic designer.
Oh no. Oh,
Unfortunately for me, fortunately for her, she became really huge and really famous
oh,
now. So it's hard to get her, you know, to do something. But you know, at least she helped us with that first stage. And now the company that we buy the labels from, which is across the street from me here in Milford, is called Amherst Labels. I don't know
mhm.
why it's called Amherst Label because they're in Milford, but
Amherst's kind of close to Milford, I think.
yeah, yeah, they're
Maybe
next to each other.
maybe they started there. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so I popped this bad boy open. New Hampshire, I tell you, man. They acquire these stupid foil things on everything.
Mhm.
Woo! All right. The old smell test. This smells fantastic, dude. This is amazing. I can't wait to eat some. Got my trusty spoon. I gotta get used to this camera. Trusty spoon. Trusty spoon. All right. I gave it a good shake beforehand. No, it looked like it's pretty stable to begin with. Let's see. And it's a thickie. It's very thick. But we're gonna do a spoonful. I put a lot on there. So hopefully I don't die.
Mhm.
All right. Wow. Dude, that's awesome. And you're right. It is sweet. The name definitely lives up to it. It's sweet on the forefront. The heat is there. It's not super hot. I think most people could enjoy this, but
Yeah.
I can see why you'd want to make a more mild version. For me, this is like perfect if I'm doing like a batch of wings and eating it. This is freaking awesome, dude. I'm gonna eat the hell out of this bottle. It's gonna go quick. I kind of regret giving the other one to my friend now, but that's okay. That's just an excuse for me to buy more. Dude, oh my God. Sweet lava. Please, guys, buy this. You can get it on his website. Dude, that's good. It's not mega, mega hot. It's really freaking tasty. And any heat that's there, the flavor definitely takes over that heat. You're not going to notice it as much. And now I'm opening the Effin Magma.
Good thing that you
Um,
tried the lava first and then the magma. The other way around.
or sorry, Effin Magma. Yeah, I'm gonna try the magma. All right, I got it open. Damn plastic. All right, gotta reset my palate.
You know that little piece of plastic, man. Believe it or not, the one that brings the perforation for you to be
Yeah,
able to like peel it easier costs like 2 cents more each. And
I
so
know, dude.
and I had to try to cut corners when it's for things that don't affect the flavor. So,
Well, I'm not the worst, man.
but
I,
yeah,
I, I opened it, no
plastic is.
problem. I just want the rest of the plastic, but I can always do it later. It's open. We're gonna shake it, and we'll flash the Effin Magma label. And oh yeah, on the side we can see some other notes. Live hot, live effing hot or die.
eh,
Proudly made in the USA. Oh, lost focus real quick.
That's a
I'll read it to
little
you
that's
guys.
a little wink to New Hampshire, for the live
Yeah, no, I
live
love
by.
that. Really great labeling, man. That actually caught my eye when I was looking at your website and stuff like that. The labeling and marketing is great. I can see you put a lot of work into that. Really greatly appreciated. Really greatly appreciated.
Thanks,
All
man.
right.
Thanks.
So,
It means a lot.
yeah, and then you put a lot of love into this, and it's super, super important. You're doing it for more than just the making the sauce. Like it is your livelihood, but also you're doing it because you love what you're doing. Yeah, this is a thick one. Woo! That smells hot.
Yeah, careful smelling it. You'll clear your sinuses.
Oh yeah. And then here. All right. All right, man. We are going to pour it out. I'm afraid. Oh, it's so thick. Hold on. We're gonna give it another shake. There. Alright, that's a pretty modest dab, so I'll show you.
There you go. That should be okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be enough.
You'll make
I might go back for more. We'll
it.
see. All right. It's hot,
Yeah, this one hits you straight up the heat.
but the flavor is still there.
Yeah, yeah.
I still get the sweetness. Definitely not as sweet as the sweet lava. Dude, that's really good. Yeah, I gotta have a second one. I have a second of the other one too. My stomach's gonna need me today. That's okay. I don't really care. What? It's for the love of the sauce, man. For the love of the sauce. A little dab here. Dude. Oh, it's so good, dude. So I don't know if I told you this before when I came to visit you. Every week, my buddies and I would get together and we'd make like 6 pounds of wings. And we would kind of just like go through we'd call it the gauntlet, where we'd line up all my hot sauces and try them out. And we would kind of make it randomized so we wouldn't know what we were getting. Like we would know, but we would roll a dice. We have a 20-sided dice out. We would roll it and whatever number it would land on. Oh man, that heat's catching up. whatever it would land on. You didn't know if you were getting hot or not. So we just light each other up all night. But anyways, fast forward within the next like week or so, my friends and I are gonna do that again. It's been like a year or two, and I'm definitely breaking these guys out. So,
Nice.
camera, what? Effin Magma, and camera's following me. Effin Magma and Sweet Lava. Guys, please try this out. This stuff is freaking fantastic. Give this guy some love. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna sip on my drink now. Mm. Coffee, by the way, is a really good palate resetter.
Yeah.
Um, so like if you're trying to like clear out your palate to try something else, you can smell coffee or even taste it. But like man, milk, mango, anything like that will get rid of the burn real quick. So we're gonna do some more sweet lava, kind of offset the heat with the sweet.
Yeah.
Another big spoon there.
One good thing about the sauces, man, and I don't know if it's because of the natural nature of the ingredients and stuff, but in a few minutes, it's gonna be gone.
Oh yeah,
It's
of
not like you're
course.
gonna be suffering for like the next half an hour that you can't taste
No,
anything. It fades, which is, in my opinion, is good because you don't wanna like
absolutely.
be burning for 2 hours.
No, you don't want to eat something and then feel it forever after, then make you not want to eat it again. No, I could definitely like come back in a few hours and eat this tonight. This is hot, dude. This is very, it's really good. Um, it's really good, but wow, I can feel it on my tongue.
Yeah,
And I've eaten plenty of hot sauces, and they're hot, but this is hot in a different way. It's not unbearable. It's present.
yeah.
It's really good, man. Oh man, we're switching the water.
Yeah, no, I
Oh
told
man.
you, man, that one was for those guys that pissed me, saying that the sweet lava wasn't hot enough. So
Oh no. I hope they've been able to try this or will in the future because I think you definitely hit the mark with that one.
yeah,
Oh,
nice, man. I'm happy you liked it.
I
I'm happy
love it.
you
I
liked it.
love it, man. I'm gonna tell everyone about it and hopefully some people will come buy some from you. Um,
Hopefully.
but I think we're gonna wrap up here, man. So before we go, I just want to say thanks again for giving me your time. This has been such a pleasurable experience. I've been really excited to have you on the show. Where can we find you?
So you can go to effinsauces.com. Right now we have a great promotion that if you buy 3 bottles, you get a fourth one free and shipment free included as well. I think that's one of the best ways to get them because in addition it gives you a better margin to me. But if you prefer to buy it old school style, there's in our webpage we have a list of all the local stores where we sell like Sunny Valley Farms or Moulton's Market, Lowell Farm, Brookdale, Kimball Farms. We haven't been able to really like jump into any supermarkets because it's big corp at the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You file a form online, and if they want to get back to you, they will someday. And if not, you just have to keep trying.
That's
But
awesome, man.
luckily we live in the 21st century. Online buying is something that is nature. It's natural for anyone
Yep.
nowadays. So I think online it's definitely the way to go. We have some cool merch in there. We have recipes.
Mhm.
We have more information and stories of the company. Access to our social medias. Now on social media, we're trying to post at least one recipe every week. We post facts about spicy food. We post about the bull terriers that are currently available for adoption. So it's definitely a cool page to follow on social media. And the web page it's really easy to navigate and really easy to purchase. And you'll get it in 3-4 days max in the door. We had orders even from Hawaii
Oh wow.
already.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm so happy. Please keep up doing what you're doing because I think it's great, and I
Thanks,
would
man.
really love to see
And
this in a store
I wanted to
someday.
tell you, man, that the feeling is reciprocal. I feel that you're doing this with a lot of passion, and that definitely will pay off. And keep up the good work, man. And thank you so much for considering us.
Of course.
It definitely helps, and it was very entertaining too. I had a blast, man.
Awesome, man. Me too. Thank you so much, Carlos,
Hey,
dude.
thank you, man.
Oh man. Woo! I'm tearing up a little bit, but in a good way, dude.
Nice.
Hey, thanks again, brother.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Hey everyone, this is the pairing segment of the show where I try the hot sauce we presented on the show today with what Carlos had suggested. And today we are going to do the sweet lava on some wings. I got a big bowl here, so let's see what's going on. This sauce is a habanero sauce. It's sweet. The name is Sweet Lava once again, so let's give it a shot. Definitely very good on fried chicken. Um, mm, mm. Carlos suggested wings, and I think it is the right pairing. Though it could probably go with anything. Um, Last night I was putting it on my pizza and just kept yelling for it. So this sauce is awesome. It's very versatile. Um, has a lot of flavor. When you read the ingredients, it's very straightforward. He uses organic ingredients. He has them imported, but most of all, you can taste the love that he put into this when you're eating it, and I think it's fantastic. It's honestly one of my favorite sauces I've ever tried. I can eat way too many of these things. The heat kicks in after a little bit. It's tolerable. Um, if you don't like spice, you might not like this as much, but he has one that's probably 4 or 5 times hotter than this with the same flavor profile. It's looking good. Um, he said he's working on a milder version. This to me is mild. It's perfect. I could eat a ton of them, but I could definitely see people who are not attracted to eating spice maybe shying away from it. Um, but it's fantastic. You should definitely give it a shot. Again, I can eat a million of those. It's hot, but it's not killing me, man. It's really freaking good. Anyways, I'm gonna go because I have a bunch more to eat and my wings are getting cold. So see you next time.